So there are no financial disclosures, and I will be taking up this talk in the following parts. Yeah. So I will be dealing this topic into the following parts, and our mission is to give certain tips and tricks in these situations. And by the end of the talk, we hope that there are some options for you, and we'll be more than glad to take the questions at the end of this talk, or at the end of this IC. Coming to the tough posture highlight first, most of us must have faced the situations where I've done a nice vitrectomy and there is a last layer which is stuck to the retina which will not come off with the cutter. Are you able to see the video, Dr. Dipender?
No, I think
it's not playing.
It's not playing. Maybe you can minimize and play it directly.
So yeah. So you can use the various options available with us are Finis Flex Loop, the scraper, and the ILM forceps to remove these membranes. The best part of the loop is that you can scrape the membrane over it, or you can go underneath the membrane because it is very thin. You can use the concavity and convexity and remove these membranes which are tough to remove otherwise. Going on to the next one, which is the macular holes, which will be covered into the following heads. Going first, the initiation of the peeling, the best instrument to do is the ILM forceps, but somehow if it is not working, then you can fall back on the these needles. Yeah, you can use the needle to initiate the peel and then take up with the ILM peeling forceps to complete the whole process. Another option again is the loop through which you can initiate the peel and then subsequent process can be completed with the help of a ILM peeling forceps. So here you can see that it is very easy to initiate the ILM peeling with the help of this loop. You can adjust the length of this loop, you can shorten it or lengthen it according to the elasticity of the ILM. We all might have fallen into the situation where we have done the good inverted ILM peel, but then when you have created these flaps, you are not able to manage it and push. You can see these flaps can go into your this flute needle or you lose the flap. Then in such situations, what you need to do is, first thing is that we need not create a large flaps when we are doing an inverted ILM flaps. The small flaps are good enough to have a successful closure of the holes. So not more than 1 disc diameter of the flap is required in any size of the holes. Best thing to do is to do pinch and peel. You can just pinch the ILM and then keep peeling towards the hole. So if you are successful in doing it, the smaller holes, the smaller flaps are much robust and they are retained much better. If somehow you have a larger flaps, you have an option of using the cutter to trim these flaps. The trick here is to have a very high cut rate and very low suction and seek the edge of the flap. Never go closer to the edge of the holes. If you go closer to the edge of the holes, the whole flap will come off. But if you can do nicely with the high cut rate and low suction, these flaps, you can trim it very easily. Repositioning of the flaps. So if you have larger flaps and they are moving all over the place and you are not able to retain it, the trick here is to never try to do it under the saline. Always do a thorough FAE, do a slow FAE under low infusion, keep your fluid needle nasal to the disc. Once the FA is complete, then you will be able to just keep these flaps over the macular hole, either with the help of the loop or the scraper or whatever instrument you are comfortable with. So if there is a situation when you have lost your flap completely, then you can. So here you see, we can bring this flap parallel to the retina, bring it toward the hole, and with taking adequate care, you can tuck it in the hole. People are using PFCL also to bring this flap over the macular hole and tucking it there. But without PFCL also, with the help of this loop, it is possible to tuck it nicely under the hole. 1, 2, and 3. The only thing you should be remembering is that with the end of the loop, you should not touch the bare base of the hole, which can lead to poor vision outcome after the surgery. Next we move to my favorite technique of closing the macular hole these days. This is a temporal ILM flap. In this technique, we just have to create a temporal flap of the size of the hole, or just 1 to 1.5 disc diameter. Just bring the edges of this created ILM flap to the temporal edge of the holes. Just make it flat over the hole. You will now see how we'll keep it flat. With the help of these forceps or scraper or this, you just keep these edges flat over this hole. This technique is good because it spares a lot of complications related to the flap. It spares the ganglion cell layer, nerve fiber layer. The other trick is that you just, whenever you do the FA after this, you will be doing nasal to the disc with the vector forces acting this way. That fluid air exchange will keep this flat over the retina, and chances of flap losing is very, very less. We all might have come across a situation where we have created retinal tears. We need to be very, very careful while dealing with ischemic retina. So here we are peeling the ILM. You just keep watching. Now when we are doing it, I'm stopping it here. Just look here. We are entangled the retina along with this. So if we are very, very aware of the situation, then we can prevent this. Otherwise, what will happen is a large tear. The management of this tear is easy. You can do a FAE. There is no need of doing lasers over it. But if it is a little away from the fovea, you can do a little bit of lasers over it. Be mindful of retinal curvature, especially in myopic high myopes, and don't go too tangential to this retina. Next thing is peeling in detached retina. The indications are retinal detachment in macular holes, detachment with stiff retina, detachment with PVR, detachment with large or multiple breaks, ERM with retinal detachments. So what are the tricks what you have to keep in mind while dealing with the peeling in detached retina? One is you can either do it under PFCL or you can do without PFCL. Initiation of the ILM peel is better under PFCL, but maneuvering it after initiating is better without PFCL. Search for the areas where there is a wrinkling of the ILM to initiate the peels. It is always better to peel from the disc towards the periphery rather than the other way around. Like you see this, we are pulling the retina here, but when we are doing it from nasal to the temporal part, it becomes easy because of the traction offered by the optic nerve head. If the detachment is large, you can drain the SRF first and then proceed with the ILM peeling. In high myopes, you have to peel over the entire staphyloma. It will come in bits and pieces, but you have to remove the ILM from the entire staphyloma to be successful in cases with high myopes and macular holes. In RD with macular holes, you can even create inverted ILM flaps to close the holes. I think these part will be taken care by Dr. Dipender in his next talk. Next is peeling under silicone oil. This is another beautiful technique. And then there are membranes on the posterior pole. You can just remove it under the silicone itself rather than removing the silicone oil and then removing the membranes. It can be done either with the 2-port or 3 ports. It is relatively easy to do. Excellent view that you can get under the silicone oil. Just pick the membrane where it is thickest and keep removing it gently and slowly. If the infusion pressure goes down, you can either supplement with the oil or you can do it even the air infusion. Then you can do the FAE and just complete the surgery. Next comes the optic disc spit. We have now moved in the era from ILM peeling to ILM stuffing. We are now not touching the foveal part, but if there is associated macular hole, then we can do a double peeling, one over the optic disc and one under the macular hole. Now, there is no need to stuff the ILM into the optic disc. If you can just layer the ILM peeling over the optic disc, that is good enough. You can have 2 or 3 layers of ILM over the optic disc. Here you see that we have peeling it nasal to the fovea, going to the optic disc. Another, we are peeling it superiorly. This is all nasal to the fovea. We are not touching the fovea, and then bringing it over to the optic disc and just leaving it there over the pit. Again, you do a slow, gentle FAE nasal to the disc to keep the flaps flat over the optic disc pit, and that's it. There is no need for external material to stuff. And if, as I told, if there is associated macular hole, you can do another inverted ILM peeling over the macular hole, and the case will be successfully closed. Going to ERM, it can be done in a combined thing or as a double staining with peeling. I am showing a video of a combined peeling along with the ILM. Here, after staining, you can just, if the ERM is not extensive, you can start peeling the ILM from the area away from the ERM. And most of the times you are successful, both ILM and ERM can be peeled together. But if the ERM is extensive or if the ERM is very thick, you can peel the ERM separately. Some bits and pieces of ILM will definitely go along with the ERM, but it is mandatory to stain again, see for the remnant ILM and remove the ILM again. Here you see that we are able to successfully remove both the ERM as well as the ILM together. Now going to the diabetic widths, though it is beyond the scope of this talk, but I would like to touch upon a couple of points. While dealing with the ILM peeling in the DME, the retina is relatively spongy, so you need to be very careful. The ILM peeling will be in bits and pieces, so don't worry about it. Just try to be very careful while you are pinching the ILM. And large peel is not required in these cases. You just need to peel a disc diameter over the fovea and that's it. The aim is to prevent the ERM formation or the membrane formation and to resolve the DME in cases we are peeling it for DME. Going to the last bit, that is about the diabetic vitrectomies. Most important is to do a thorough vitrectomy to remove the anteroposterior traction and then look out for the plane to initiate the peel. You either use the cutter or the forceps. Here we are using a cutter to go beneath the plane and removing the membranes. Try to segment it into small islands. And once you have created the small islands, which is free from traction on all sides, you can just put your cutter over these islands with a high cut rate and a low suction, and it works as a scissor and everything will come into this. You can just see that all the remnant membranes will come into the forceps. There is another video, my last one, to show the same thing. Just finding the plane, going beneath the membranes, pulling it off the retina. Once it is off, you just eat it up. Whatever you have scraped from the retina, you can eat it up. And then you go beneath this membrane, create small islands, and then finish off filling it. With this, I close my talk, and there are a few acknowledgements to be made. Thank you.